How to start an Airbnb business without money. Are you short on cash, but you really want to have your own Airbnb business? Want to start putting properties on Airbnb, HomeAway, vacation rental by owner, and start making some serious cash? Well, it's definitely possible. It's a great time to get started, but there's a couple moves that you're gonna need to make sure this all works out. And I'm gonna tell you exactly what they are so you can get it done. Let's go. I'm gonna share with you the easiest way to start any business with literally no money of your own, or not having any money at all. I'm gonna share with you a true story of how an 18-year-old student of mine is making well over $150,000 a year with an Airbnb business, how he got started, how he's basically retired and works just a few months out of the year doing this, and again, how you can follow his exact same thing that I taught him. And last but not least, I'm gonna give you my full blueprint on how to do this so that you make probably double or triple what most people are making. So let's talk about short-term rentals. Everyone knows the term Airbnb. Well, some of you do. Obviously, you probably do because you clicked on this video. But Airbnb is really just a website that allows short-term rentals. It's a website, it's an app, but it's really about the home sharing economy. So the sharing economy, Uber and Turo and Airbnb allows a person to take their home, their personal home or a home that they control, and put it on a website where just regular people can come. It's peer-to-peer, so you don't have to go directly to find these people. Airbnb created a platform where people with properties are, and they created a platform where people that are looking for properties to stay the night at, maybe 3 nights or a week or a month, those people are all there on the website looking for places to stay, okay? So the people with properties and the people looking for properties. And Airbnb and sites like that is the middleman, the platform, allowing those two people to come together and helping that there is trust in between them. So Airbnb offers a insurance policy in case one of the guests destroys the owner's properties, and it also provides protection for the guests to make sure that the owner is not shady or a criminal or going to kidnap them or something to that effect. Okay, so Airbnb does do a little bit more than just the website of providing a place. They also work as a trust factor for both parties so that they know that their money is okay and that they're going to be safe inside of those properties. So it is an amazing opportunity to start making money if you think of it like a business. So let me tell you how you can start thinking of it like a business and do what this 18-year-old did. So let me quickly tell you how I got into Airbnb, because my story is not really that pretty. I literally got into real estate the normal way, okay? The old way. I was doing some wholesaling, then I started fixing and flipping, and then I got rental properties. And I did all of this while working a very boring corporate job that I absolutely hated, and I wanted nothing more than to quit my job and stay home with my kids and have my time to myself. And so eventually I was able to amass enough rental properties where I was able to cover my salary. At the time I was making about $200,000 a year when I quit my job. So I had a pretty hefty salary that I needed to fulfill with real estate. So I needed a bunch of rental properties. So at the time when I quit, I literally had over 40 rental properties. And being honest with you, it wasn't the easiest thing to manage those properties and have all of that going on. So I started teaching people what I was doing because I was very comfortable and was making a lot of money. But it was an 18-year-old student of mine that came to me and offered me a joint venture. He literally came to me and said, hey, I'm down in Florida. If you want to, invest in me, and I think the amount was maybe $5,000 or $8,000. And he's like, I'm going to get 5 properties. And I'm going to be able to make 2-3 times what you are making on your rental properties. I promise you. Just invest this money. I'm going to furnish these apartments and we're going to put them on this new thing called Airbnb. And I'll be honest with you guys, I was super skeptical at first. I did not think that this was a good idea. I loved my long-term tenants. I was getting appreciation on my properties and all this other stuff. I really thought I had it all figured out, but I was wrong. So lo and behold, this 18-year-old kid gets these 5 properties. He puts them on Airbnb and he starts making literally 5 times what I was making on one of my rental properties. I was sold. He was taking properties that he rented and he was making $1,000 to $1,500 a month per property, and we have 5 of them. So he was able to easily pay me back my initial investment, and now he's on his way. He's gotten more properties and he's making way more money. And I too have transitioned a lot of my portfolio from long-term tenants to short-term tenants because I realized, or to short-term guests, because I realized this is so much more profitable, and it really is. So that's the first thing. I learned that story, and then I was like, whoa, he taught me something, and now I've taken that to a whole new level, let me tell you. So now let's get to the fun part, because like I said, this is how to start an Airbnb business with no money. And I just told you, this 18-year-old student of mine got all of the money that he needed for his Airbnb business from me. So this is definitely very possible to do. So let me tell you exactly how you do it, because finding other Noels is not as difficult as you think. Now, I, at this point, only partner with my students, and so when he brought this joint venture agreement to me, it was something that I did all the time with my students. We would fix and flip properties together, or if they needed funding for a wholesale deal or whatever they need. And again, I still do that to this day. We have over $80 million in a fund that we use for real estate, not including the New Res fund that's just for like the short-term rentals. So again, plenty of money there to do real estate. But this kid had a plan. So let me tell you how you find other Noels. This is how you will do this with no money. You really just need to find other Noels, other people like me. And again, this was not a lot of money that I put into it. Again, most real estate deals are $10,000, $20,000. I know it wasn't even 10. I think it was either 5,000 or 8,000, and we got 5 properties. Now again, you don't have to start with 5. You can start with 1 or 2, and maybe you only need $3,000, but you could even do it for less than that if you found the furniture a lot cheaper. We put all brand new things inside of those properties. So again, this is not hard to do. So let's talk about how you find other Noels. The fastest and easiest way to find other people to give you money to start your Airbnb business, because this is super simple and easy to do. One, of course, you could just use a credit card, because again, this is not very much money. And even when you're renting a property, a lot of times if you have good credit, you only have to put $3 or $150 down as the security deposit. Now again, all of the leases that we do if we're gonna do short-term rentals, we put those leases in our business name. I've made an entire video. I'm not gonna go into that in this video. I'm gonna put a link below if you want to watch that video. But we put the leases in the business's name, we furnish the properties, and then we move on. So we're talking about finding people like me to do this, to partner with you, to give you the money for this. The first and easiest place to do is to go to real estate investor meetings, okay? This is where other investors already are, people that already are landlords. Remember, how he convinced me to do this was I already had rental properties with long-term tenants. So the only thing that he really needed to convince me or explain to me was how this was more profitable. And it really is. So instead of renting out a property for $1,200 a month, he told me we're gonna rent these properties out at about $140 per night. So even if it's not, even if it's vacant like 10 days out of the month, we still are super profitable, okay? Even if we had to go down to $100 per night and we only had it rented for like 20 nights, that's $2,000 and the rent's $1,200, okay? So the profit is so easy. So this is not hard to explain to someone that already has rental properties or wants rental properties or wants to be a landlord or is a landlord. So investor meetings, first easiest place to find these people to give you the money that you need. The second thing, you're going to need to become an expert on this. So in order to explain this and pitch this to someone, what you're gonna do, go ahead and pitch them, is make sure you are learning all of this. I have a slew of videos. Again, this is probably a great time to remind you to go ahead and like this video, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, make sure you click that little notification bell so you do not miss any of this content. And this will allow you to get educated and become an expert so you can speak professionally, you can speak knowledgeably on this topic. Because if you know about what you're going to do, about how much it is per night, how much you're going to spend on furniture, these little nuances, you will be able to talk to someone professionally about this and then get the money to do this. The second thing that I would require, or I recommend, I'll say, is make sure that you set up your business. It is so much easier to convince someone or pitch to someone to give you money if you already have invested the money, a little bit of money, to either get an LLC or to get a DBA. I know this video said absolutely no money, and again, you don't need this, okay? You don't need this, but it is, if you're going to other people, it is a little bit more credible if you have a business already set up, because then you can show them that you have invested and you have a legitimate business. Additionally, it will give you protections in case something goes wrong. So just my little tip there. But again, if you have absolutely no money, you don't need to do it, but it is just recommended. So I've created an entire course that will teach you all of this. Like I said, one of the important steps, of course, you have free content right here. But if you want to take it a little bit further, I've created an entire course that you can do in just a few days. It is super simple. I have tons of students that are doing it. It's super simple and it's very specific to Airbnb, rental arbitrage, things like that, and it's super affordable. Just go to bnbriches.com. That's B like boy, N like Nancy, B like boy, riches, RICHES.com, and I'm going to give you a code, SAVE50, and that will take half off this already incredibly affordable, cheap course that I just put together because I really want you guys, I spent a lot of time putting it together. I didn't put it together quickly, but I put together a lot of time because I want to make sure that you guys have everything that you need, all the scripts, all the contracts, you know, all of the templates that you need, and I've given you all of that in this course. And now half off, SAVE50, use that code at the checkout and you will get half off this already super affordable course, cheaper than anyone else. I've already checked. I just want to make sure you have all the information that you need. So check it out, bnbriches.com. Use the code SAVE, S-A-V-E, all caps, 50, which will take 50% off that price, and you can start learning this and become the expert to get all of the money that you need from anyone at any time. This is Noelle. To your success.